Welcome back, Benchwarmers. We move on to the NFC Divisional matchups.
The number one seeded Lions and Jared Goff are hosting the feisty Commanders and Jaden Daniels.
Then we've got the Rams going to Philly, trying to slow down Saquon and the Eagles.
Are you ready for some football? I'm Corey, rooting for chaos.
I'm Brendan, LA Strong, and this is RV from the Bench. Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see here, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on. It's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Hell yeah.
Moving on to the NFC, my friend.
All right.
It was a pretty good weekend matchup. Most of the games were... Actually, only one game was really that good, to be honest with you, in the NFC side. Two games were kind of boring. So let's run through a quick side notes from the weekend. Well, the one thing that I was actually the most impressed with, I don't know why, it wasn't even me. Corey, when we picked these before, by the way, you could see the NFC predictions, so that way, we make sure we pick them ahead of time. Corey picked a 33-20 Eagles-Packers final. So a 13-point spread. And they finished 22-10. That's a 12-point spread. I was pretty impressed. I was like, damn, this guy basically got it right. So props to you on that one. Yeah, the game itself sucks, but go ahead.
I didn't win anything, though. So
true. You win pride.
Yay. That doesn't pay bills.
No, it does not pay any bills. That's for damn sure. So that was pretty good. Any notes that you took from the games this weekend, man?
No, like you said, most of them. I mean, the Commanders-Buccaneers game was great. I called that.
That's the best one.
Best game of the weekend in general.
You did.
NFC. It lived up to it. It came down to the wire. I think Jaden Daniels is really good. Commanders.
He feels like no pressure, bro. What is playoffs?
He looks like C.J. Stroud did last year, but even better, if that makes sense.
Oddly. Yeah, he could run, bro. Not that C.J. can't move, but this dude can move.
He looks more fluid.
Like a Lamar style.
Yeah, so C.J. is such a bigger guy that it doesn't look as fluid as it does with him. I mean, he kind of glides out there. He looks like
glides. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so, Commanders are exciting. I'm excited to watch them move on to the next round, and we'll see what happens. But Rams defense, that's the other thing, the 9 sacks against Darnold, and Darnold just keeps on losing money and just throwing it away.
I don't know if it's his fault. I mean, those ghosts, bro, they just came back. The ghost came back, dude. It's not his fault, man. Like, what do you want? The ghost wouldn't stay away. It looked bad, dude. You see Jared Verse diving all over the dang field, bro? Do you see that picture?
He is so good. That guy is so good.
He has the most pressures, I think, of rookie defensive ends in the past 5 years.
Wow. It's
more
crazy.
Than like Micah Parsons, all those like huge names.
That's crazy because you would think after losing Aaron Donald, the Rams defense would have to kind of reboot and restart in general, but they have drafted really well. A lot of these guys are like 3rd and 4th round picks, and Kobe, I can't think of his last name right now, the other guy that's on their defensive line, but they are young and scrappy. I think I heard their entire defense is costing like less than 10% of their entire salary of their team.
They're all rookies, bro.
Yeah.
And the crazy part also too was the guy that Jared Verse got drafted with out of Florida State. I forgot what the freak that guy's name was, but Fisk, yes. He and the other guy that you just talked about, actually, I believe, was also on the list. Of course, I didn't like it. I hate when that happens when you see something and you're just like, yeah, of course, I didn't like that one. That would have been too nice to like have that information right on hand while I'm talking about it on a podcast. But either way. They were in the top like 10 of most pressures in their rookie season. So yeah, that defense is killing it. And Darnold scored 9 points in 2 straight games. They lost to 2 opponents all season.
Yep.
And they were back-to-back weeks.
Twice to the Rams. That is wow.
And they literally had them back-to-back weeks. They had Lions, Rams in the middle of the season, and then at the end of the season, obviously week 18, and then the first round Lions, Rams. So kind of screwed, but. I finished 2-1 because I knew those Rams were going to do something. Corey unfortunately finished 1-2 in the NFC.
Yep.
I really thought the Commanders weren't going to be able to come over that. I thought Baker was going to take it. I thought I was going to be 3-0 in this one. But
yeah, I really debated the Commanders too. I even said it last week when we picked. I was like, I really went back and forth, but I think because Jaden's young and Baker, like I really wanted to go with the Commanders, but it came back to bite me. But yeah, the Vikings won. I mean, I thought Darnold and them would have like figured some shit out watching tape from the last beating they got the week before, but it didn't work. Apparently the Rams just took the same blueprint as the Lions did and made them just scared as hell, like you said.
Pretty much. Okay, well, good wrap up. Let's move on then to the divisional games this weekend. The Saturday game is what is it? 5 o'clock? This is
Yeah,
the one after the Chiefs game, correct?
correct. Yeah, number one seeds are both playing on Saturday night.
So weird, but you know what? Maybe it's to give them that extra rest, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they already had the week off, so they don't need it anymore, right?
That's true, I guess. I see this one going. I think it's going to be a lot closer. The spread on this one is the second highest, I think, besides obviously Baltimore, Buffalo, I believe. So this one is, I think it's going to be a pretty good game. I don't really know who I'm actually rooting for in this game, to be honest with you, because I don't dislike any of the teams. I don't necessarily like any of the teams either, but I definitely don't dislike any of them. I really like Jaden Daniels. I like what they're doing in Washington, really turn that franchise over from literally last year to the next. It's like a completely different team. And Detroit, bro, they've just been so bad for so long, and they're finally good. You kind of just root for them a little bit too.
Yeah, that's
so. Is Montgomery's back, right?
Yeah, he's back.
So having both running backs back, obviously every one of their pass catchers is healthy. I believe their line is healthy. The only thing that Detroit's really lacking is most of their defensive starters. But the way they were able to shut down the Vikings last week, I don't really know if that's a problem. Well, not last week, but the last time they played. I don't really know if that's a problem. How do you see this one kind of unfolding?
I mean, Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, has been masterful with the second half of this team because, like you said, injury after injury on that entire defense. I think half of their starting 11 are out of there. So it's kind of
some of the best too. Not like Aiden Hutchinson, their best players. I mean, some of their best players are out too, not just other starters. Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. Exactly. So I think the fact that they've been able to do that as far as they haven't all year without those guys, I kind of expect them to still be able to play really good defense. Again, they've had time off and time to prepare. You're getting a young quarterback who's a rookie, so maybe Aaron Glenn is one of the few that makes him work a little harder and he can't get away with whatever he wants.
True.
Detroit was here last year and they're kind of on a mission. It's kind of like one of those teams that gets to the Super Bowl, loses, and it's like, oh, I got to get back and get it now because it's the last time you have a shot. You don't know if you're ever going to get back. And this is kind of that Detroit team of like, we got to get it now because this might literally be our last chance before they already started paying guys, but eventually they're going to run out of cap space. So
true. Not only that, to your point, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson are the most coveted offseason coaching hires. They're about to lose both of their coordinators. And Ben Johnson stayed to make sure that he was going to, kind of be there to help get this team over the hump. I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons because he could have taken a job last year if he really wanted to. This one's gonna be good, man. I see this one shaking out in Detroit's favor, but I underestimated the Commanders last week, so I'm not gonna do it this time. I think that not the rust per se, but the rest that they've had will kind of not turn the offense off, but maybe turn it down a little bit. They're not gonna come out as strong. Hopefully their defense holds up. I've got Detroit winning this one for sure. Not by a lot, and I actually don't have them covering the spread, but I've got 27-20.
Okay. All right. I have it very similar. I have it 30-20 Detroit. I think I understand what you're saying with the rest and rust thing, but I think the fact that they have been injured so much this year that having the rest is actually going to be beneficial for them. Mm-hmm. And I think because of that, like they say, usually the first 15 to 20 plays are scripted out the gate.
Perfectly scripted, yeah.
Detroit's going to come out and score on their first two drives and get to an early lead, and then they'll kind of slow down as the game progresses and Washington makes adjustments, and that's when they'll kind of stay in it. But I think ultimately Detroit will keep at least a touchdown between them the entire time and end up winning by 10, 30-20.
Perfect. Okay, well, you have them covering the spread. I have them just missing it, a 7-point win. You've got a 10.1 when they are 8.5-point favorites, so that's going to be a good game. The Lions, dude, they were literally in this position last year. They beat the Bucs at home, but last year they had to go on the road for the NFC Championship game in San Francisco. If they can get this dub, they will be able to host either the Rams or the Eagles for all the chips to the Super Bowl, which is something that would be just really cool to see in Detroit. At least let them host it. No offense to the Commanders, but you guys are just up and coming. You guys got plenty of time. Jaden just got drafted. This team, to Corey's point, between cap space and my point between coordinators, it's on its last heels, so I do want to see them in the Super Bowl. We'll see if that happens.
Plus, let's be honest, if the NFL wants it, they want it Rams in Detroit because it's Matt Stafford in Detroit in an NFC title game.
Against
Goff, the whole trade. They've already played each other twice in the last year already, so
The Lions have won both matchups by a combined like 3 points, so they're great close games.
Yep. That's what they want. That's what they're hoping.
I think it's. I'm hoping. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen because we're moving on to the Rams Eagles. This one is, I really think that people got the Rams fucked up, for lack of a better term. They are. Let me put it this way: Sean McVay already has more playoff wins than every other Rams coach combined.
Yep.
Granted, the playoffs are very minimal in the NFL, so it's 8.
Okay, I'll say he has the most wins as a coach of the Rams in Rams history as well. So
yes. But I'm saying if you put all the coaches combined, that's my point.
But regardless, he has the most.
Just total wins, yeah.
So he just is the best coach in Rams history.
Matt Stafford. There's a reason why he brought Matt Stafford over here, and there's a reason why they already won a Super Bowl. This dude in the playoffs is lights out. So they've basically only lost one game together. And that was against I forgot who they blew it. Oh, Detroit. It was against Detroit last year. That's the only game they've lost together in the playoffs. So I don't think it starts now. I kind of see this trend continuing. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. But there's something about A.J. Brown reading a book on the sidelines that just doesn't scream this team's got it. Am I wrong?
No, I can see it. It is a little weird, but T.O. used to do weird things. Ocho Cinco used to do weird things on teams that made the playoffs and didn't win it all, obviously. So that kind of proves your point, I guess. But there are a distraction or two somewhere.
He's talented.
Wide receiver diva kind of goes hand in hand most of the time. But I don't know. I feel like this Rams defense, like we said, is very low paid, but they're super young and they're good. They're aggressive. They're defensive coordinator Chris Shula has been great in his first year, kind of letting these young kids kind of do their thing. It's reap rewards. I worry about the Rams offense because I feel like if Stafford gets hit just a couple times early and is beat up and doesn't have time, the Rams offense is not going to click, and then it's just going to be a struggle, and I don't know if they're going to have enough to hold on at the end.
I can see that. The reason why I'm thinking it's going to be close is because Jalen looked like shit last week. Yeah. I understand that he didn't have a lot of practice, but there's a lot of people talking about, the talking heads on TV this week about how just because you're cleared concussion protocol, actually, let me not say that. That's rude. The person I heard this from now that I'm talking about it, that was Matt Hasselbeck, not just one of those talking heads. That was an NFL quarterback. He's been in concussion protocol, and he says just because you're clear doesn't mean you're clear. You know what I mean? So what he doesn't know is really where Jalen Hurts is in that. Granted, he's safe enough to play football according to analysts and third-party brain people, but literally playing football at the playoff level in the NFL, something that Matt Stafford is precise at and hasn't been shaken up with, that's kind of my only question. And the way this defense is playing is nuts. Now, granted, that Philly defense is scary. Just ask, well, really anybody, because they beat up on pretty much everybody all year.
Yeah.
So I do have this being honestly really low scoring. I'm looking at yours. You do as well. I do think the Rams take this one, though. I think they go into Lincoln Financial. I think they pull up the upset, but I think it's going to be barely. It's going to be super low scoring. I'm going 20-16.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, we both did good, though. Okay. I mean, I still have the Eagles pulling it out because, like I said, I just think the Rams, if their offense struggles early, which I think it will, they're going to be just dying to even get there and have a chance at the end. So I think Philly gets out of there 21-17. And as good as that defense is for the Rams and has been, I just think Saquon's either going to bust a big run or two here, and then at that point, they're just going to run the clock out.
And see, that's a great point, actually. I feel like all of the pressure is on the Eagles. There's no way you sit out, don't get a historical record. Bro, yeah. The Eagles wanted that. The Eagles fans wanted it. I feel like Saquon truly wanted it. One of the other linemen wanted it. It was just Lane Johnson said, nope, we're resting. And everyone was like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to rest then. If you don't make the Super Bowl, I'm putting this on the Eagles. If you don't make the Super Bowl, all to not get 100 yards for a guy, like I don't know, dude. I think the pressure is fully on the Eagles to do this. I think LA's playing with house money. They already had to play an away game, being that the Fires were here, so they're ready for the road. It should be a good game. What's this one? Sunday. This is the early game Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you said, they played a road game, but there's a lot going on. I feel like that emotion can only get you and drive you for so far until you finally get drained. I just don't know if they're going to have enough. A West Coast team playing on the East Coast, early morning, technically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's just a lot of things that tell me that the Rams are going to run out of steam here, and the Eagles are going to move on.
All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see. As you can see from the background here, Corey and I obviously live in an LA area, so just want to send our thoughts and prayers to all those affected by this and give our shout out to all the first responders who've been doing everything they can with everything they don't have to try and not only get the fires under control, but just help people who are in need. So, Corey, I think you mentioned a couple organizations the last time, right? You said
yeah, Fanatics. If you go to
yeah.
the website, they have an LA Strong shirt that you can buy for every team in most of the sports, and the proceeds go back to helping everybody that's lost their stuff. So yeah, but again, just hoping everybody gets out of there safe and is able to start to rebuild their lives the best way they can moving forward through all this.
Agree. So as LA natives who were lucky enough to not be impacted, we're with you. Go Rams. Okay. Which is weird for me to say as a Cardinals fan, as you know. So, yeah. But let us know down in the comments below. I mentioned this previously. Let us know in the comments below where we're at. Give us exactly where you see the prediction being this week. If you get it right, we'll send you a hat. Just DM us. You let us know. We'll send you a hat. Free. Just guess. All you have to do is guess. How hard is that, Corey?
Yeah, it's not hard at all. Follow us on Instagram or Twitter at RViewFTB, or here on the comments on YouTube as well, and let us know, and we'll get you a hat out there as soon as we can.
Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you as always for saying things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.